fish on. Just broke the surface out there. It's like 7:45. I've been here almost an hour, a little bit more than an hour, I guess. Super foggy morning, as you can see. It's almost like being by myself out here in my own little world, except for the sound of a lawnmower going down there. It is late August. Finally starting to see a little bit of break from the dog days summer swamp heat. Today's high is like 81 or something, so it's a welcome relief from the super high heat and humidity that we've been having over the last month or so. This fish is being very relaxed about this. Hardly any fight, except for right at the beginning, the initial run. A lot of times, actually, that can mean a good thing. Usually the tiny little ones go crazy. They're just going crazy constantly. These big ones can be kind of aloof. And this guy is so kind to be staying down here away from my other two lines. That's a very, very thoughtful fish here. There's some weeds involved here. It's that time of the year when the weeds are pretty much everywhere. Most of the places on this lake are so choked with weeds, it's just impossible to fish. This area has less weeds. It's still a problem, but just less of a problem. When those weeds reach the tip of my rod, then that's a problem. Alright, let's see if I can get him swimming in the net. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, keep doing that if you want to. Go ahead. Right there in that bottom lip. Hooked real good. Right in that tough part. Oh, there's a big clump of zebra mussels right there in those weeds. Little tiny zebra mussels. Yeah, pretty great fish to start the morning. 10, 11, 12 pounds, something like that. Not gonna put a scale on. Pretty early still. In my experience, the best bite has always been in the late morning at this spot this time of year, but who knows? I'll take it. Awesome. Put this fish back and I'll show you what I'm using for bait and all that. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I deserved it. Thank you. The hook bait today, spicy sriracha feed corn. These have just been soaking in some watered down hot sauce. They've got a strong scent and flavor to them. 3 kernels of corn. I'm going to put those on the hair rig right here. There's 3 kernels right on the hair rig, just like that. I make these myself. You can do it too. It's super easy. Just takes a little bit of time. I have a video detailing exactly how I do this step by step. I'll put it in the description. Check it out if you're interested in making your own hair rigs. The pack bait I'm using this morning is a mix of old-fashioned oats and sweet feed pellets and a can of whole kernel corn and a can of chili beans. There's some beans in there. Oh, there's one right there. Corn and beans is something I've been using a lot of this year, and I like it quite a bit. One of the reasons why I'm using beans a lot this year is because I wanted to add a little bit more protein to this, make it a little bit more of a protein-rich mix instead of such high carbohydrate bait. And so yeah, beans add a little bit more protein to the mix and kind of balance it out a little bit. Doesn't matter. Highly debatable. Highly debatable. In fact, one of the things that I'm constantly repeating on, I find myself constantly repeating, is how little the bait actually matters, in my opinion. You know, in relation to other things like where you fish, when you fish, the time of day, time of year, the weather patterns, the food sources, the structures in the water, all that stuff, all that hard stuff is vastly more important than the bait. I don't focus much on bait, don't think about bait very much. I think about those hard things, those difficult things, because those are the things that really matter most. Well, that one was getting hit by something as it was falling to the bottom. I felt little staccato, like little bumps happening as it was falling the 3 feet to the bottom. About 3 feet of water here is where I'm fishing. There probably are lots of nuisance fish in this area. It's a big shallow flat. Probably lots of bullheads and catfish and bluegills and bass and perch and all sorts of stuff that I am not interested in catching here today. And since it has been about an hour, I'm going to go ahead and reel in my other lines and check them and rebait them. I get that question quite a bit in the comments. How often do you reel in and rebait your lines? And usually about every hour. Kind of depends on what's going on. The main reason for reeling it in is not necessarily to apply more bait. It's more to make sure that nuisance fish haven't been messing with it and gotten the rig all tangled up. Because if there are bluegills or bullheads or turtles pecking at this while it's laying on the bottom, it can get tangled. The hook can get buried under the sinker. All sorts of things that can happen, which makes this rig, will disable the rig, so it wouldn't be able to catch fish. So that's the main reason why I check it every hour, is just to make sure that it hasn't been messed with. This is a concept that only really applies to wild water fishing. I think, it seems like a lot of the carp lakes in the UK where people fish, pretty much the only fish that are in there are carp. You don't have nuisance fish to worry about, so it's not really a thing. If I was fishing there, I probably would just, if I got the bait exactly where I wanted, I probably would just leave it there for hours at a time. This one on my right is getting bit right now. It's getting bit right now. I don't know if it's real or if it's just nuisance fish pecking at the line. Oh, it's real. It's real. This is the same line that I caught the first fish on, off to the right here. Ooh, this one's in some weeds. Oh, broke the surface out there. That's good. Stay near the surface. Most of the mussel beds are on the bottom. Come on now. These short rods, I got to be more careful fighting them. When they pull hard, I let the rod go down, point it at the fish and let them take line, because these rods are medium heavy action for casting big baits, but that makes it so they're not as flexible. And so you can get hook pulls a little easier than with these than with my 9-foot rods, which have more flexibility in the tip. Definitely got a carp. Saw the orange tail come up. Definitely got some weeds too. Surprise, surprise. This is another good fish. Yes. Yes. A little bigger, I think. Yeah, I'll put a scale on this fish. This fish is actually quite a bit bigger than that first one. Oh yeah, 17 and a half in the net. Yeah, that's the beauty of a fish. 17 and a half in the net. So subtract 1.5 pounds for my little lightweight net here. 16-pound fish. Beast. Didn't fight that much. That's all right with me. 2 fish in the first hour or so. It's shaping up to be a pretty good morning. I hope this fog sticks around. It's only about 8:15, so the longer it sticks around, the better, in my opinion. Back in the water. Well, your cousin already splashed me. My feet are already wet. So, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Get my legs wet too. Okay. See ya. Well, that fish bit on the line that I just casted out just a few minutes prior. So that didn't take long at all. I'm going to put this right back in that same spot. Not exact, I never fish exact spots, just kind of general spots. You know, on the subject of rig tangling, I know I've seen a lot of carp anglers that like to use either some kind of tubing or heavy mono for this hook link right here, this little short 2-3 inch section between the sinker and the hook. And of course, the idea behind that is that you know, if a nuisance fish or turtle or whatever is picking this up, the hook bait, picking it up and you know, moving it around and stuff like that, that when they do that, after they put it back down, it will, that stiff hook link will kind of fall back into its desired position. And I'm sure that works. I've seen it, people using it, and it works. But so with that, you gain that advantage, but then you lose the advantage of having a supple hook link. And I think supple hook link is important. Supple meaning flexible, floppy, easily movable, because that enables the bait to be sucked up easier by the fish. If you have a stiff line here, it's not going to come up off the bottom as easily. How much that matters, I don't know. It's debatable. My preference is to use a supple hook link that can get sucked up very easily. That's just the way I like to do it, and I don't really have a lot of problems with tangles very often. So I don't know, that's the way I like to do it, but there's more than one way to catch carp. I think one of the hang-ups that probably happens to a lot of people, especially if you buy those off-the-shelf hair rigs with hook links, the hook links are like 8 inches long or something. They're like insanely long. I don't understand why that is, because it totally enables your hook to just like go up and get wrapped around the main line clear up here at some point, especially if I don't know, there's all sorts of problems that arise when you have a really long hook link. But in that debate, you know, we're kind of splitting hairs there. You know, both ways work. Catch lots of fish both ways. I don't think one is necessarily completely right or completely wrong. So that cast, I did not feel it hit the bottom at all, and I'm pretty sure that I think my rig hit a clump of weeds just right where it landed in the water. So I'm just going to reel it right back in and recast it and then rebait it, because I think I just casted directly into a clump of weeds there. Couldn't tell for sure, but just the way it fell when it hit the water just seemed like something was off. Boom, that's better. I felt a clean fall and a thump when it hit the bottom. That's what I'm looking for. Oh boy, look at that. Fish on. It's been a while. I was starting to think about leaving, figuring out what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. Previously, I was referring to this spot as the two-fish spot because the vast majority of times I come here, for some reason, I catch 2 fish, and that's it. But the other day I came here and I caught 5 fish. So I didn't know if that was a fluke. But I got fish 3 on the line here. Obviously, it's not on the bank yet, so better not count my fish before they're landed. This Frankenstein reel is working pretty good. I like this Cast King handle on this Daiwa reel. Kind of sweet. Well, I for sure got some weeds. I'm not sure if I still have a fish. Do I even have a fish? Yes. Yes, he's way out there. I got a bunch of weeds caught on my line, and then 15 feet down the line is the fish. Well, it would be nice if I could get that clump of weeds in here and get that off the line before I net the fish. This is silly. No. Did the fish get away now? I think the fish finally got away. Yep. Yeah, this big hunk of weeds just acted as a hinge point. Yeah, that fish got away. Great. Well, I guess on the bright side, every time this happens, there's less weeds out there for me to catch. I did get a look at that fish. It was a nice fish. 10 pounds, it would be my estimate. Not a small fish, not a giant, not a heartbreaker. As you can see, the fog has lifted not in my own little foggy wonderland anymore. Okay. Fish on. Oh, fish in something. Oh, I just saw the surface break way out there. Oh, this line's totally rubbing on stuff. It's been quite a long time since the last bite. I was down there walking around looking at stuff on the shore. Got a little bit bored, getting ready to leave. Well, getting a chance to lose one more fish maybe. Yeah, they're definitely pulling through some weeds here. I'm just going to kind of do a slow, steady. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give some slack for a minute here, because I'm not really making any progress. I'm just going to give a little bit of slack, and then as soon as that fish starts pulling and might wiggle that rig or line out of the weeds that it's in, then I'm going to pull back and see if I can make some progress here. So I've been at this a while now, and just slowly, oh yeah, see? Yeah, he's pulling back now. Just been slowly. I finally got to a point where it seems like the line has stopped going like stuttering, like, you know, moving, collecting on or weeds, you know, pulling on weeds. So what it feels like I've got now is just heavy weight that I'm just slowly just cruising in here, and I can feel the fish is still on there because I feel a little, you know, pulsing from time to time. Get off of there. Yeah, some braided line would probably saw right through those weeds, but I think the braided line would have been cut long before that happened. One little nick on a patch of mussels that are bigger than those ones that are on the weeds. One little nick. That braided line just snap, and that's been my experience. Somehow I've just got only the fish and no additional weeds, which is spectacular. There's still a bunch of weeds right here in front of me that I might collect as the fish comes in here. Oh, it's a good. Oh, never mind. There are some weeds involved. I think this fish is bigger than I originally thought. Yeah, I don't like that. Got the weeds in one spot, and then it creates a hinge point, and then the fish is down the line farther. Not cool, but it is what it is. Come on in. Yeah, this is a nice. Oh, this is a nice fish, folks. I think this is big fish of the day. Dang weeds. Yes. The weeds were covering up his face and didn't see that net coming at him, so thanks, weeds, I guess. Oh yeah, this fish is much bigger than it looked originally. Oh, that hook just fell out. Thrashed around in the net must have got it out. I'm sure most of you experienced guys know this, but for those who don't, just covering their eyes helps a lot. You just cover their eyes while you're working with them as much as you can, and it thrash less. Oh yeah, big fish of the day, 21 and a half in the net. I want to get a good picture of this fish. I'm gonna put him back in the water for a minute here. Let him rest while I turn the camera around. Hopefully he doesn't try to swim off with my net, drag the net into the lake. Yeah, this is a real beast. Big fish of the day, easy. What was it? 21 and a half in the net, so it's about a 20-pound fish. 20-pound fish, beast. Fish of the day. Fish of the day. Like I said, it's been getting slow. I've been sitting here for an hour and a half or so with nothing. Now, unless one of my lines back there starts screaming off while I'm holding this fish, I think this is going to be it. I'm going to call it for the day. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.